Welcome to your weekly kiss from Kristin. Today I want to talk to you about follow through. Does it feel like a lack of follow through is what is derailing your weight loss goals? Today's kiss is for you if you know that following through with the actions that you want to commit to is where you are struggling with your weight loss programs. I'm going to give you 3 steps that you can use to help you follow through with the actions you want to do so that you can reap the rewards of the results. I'm Kristin Wood, your favorite body wellness coach, and I'm here weekly with a keep it super simple tip, something that you can implement right now. And when you're implement with consistency, you are going to see a change in your weight and your wellness. And I get to work with women that are ready to be done with the diet of the month idea and really learn how to let their body work the way that God designed it to so that they can lose the weight naturally for good. Now, this follow through, it's a daily job. But just because it's a job doesn't mean it's a hard job. Actually, I think you're really good at it. Last week, if you joined me, your kiss was all about honesty and compassion with your weight loss. And saying that you're not good at follow up or follow through or that you can't follow through, that's a closed door statement. That's not asking the universe to help you. And it's also a lie because you are really good at following through. It's just the choices that you're choosing to follow through with are not the ones that every morning you commit to doing again. So the question that you need to ask yourself is, what is the story that I am following through with? What are you doing? And what can we do to, squeeze that out? It's not like we want to just say, I'm not going to do that habit anymore, but we make other habits in place that just eventually squeeze that one out. So there's just not enough room to do it. So let's get to these 3 steps. The first step is that you really need to know what it is that you want to be doing. And this looks like dreaming a little bit about it. I want you to have a mental rehearsal of what this action is, what it looks like for you to be doing it, what it feels like for you to be doing it. So you just dream about this in your head, see yourself doing this action and how that feels to do the action. So get really clear on what it is, what it looks like to do it, why you want to do it. Why you want to do it is huge. What is your reason? If your reason is just because your neighbor's doing it and having good results with this action, well, that doesn't mean that it's for you. Or you have to be really clear on what it looks like for you, because some part of you is not the same as her, so it's going to have to be a little different. So having lots of reasons why this is a habit that you want to have, this is an action that you want to be doing, why, and a lot of reasons, I'm talking like 10 plus reasons, because they need to be compelling reasons, and they're not all going to be compelling at the same time. So like if you want to go to bed earlier, you want to be in bed by 9:30, but Netflix has just released a new season of your favorite show. What is going to be compelling enough to get you to turn the TV off and go to bed at 9:30? So lots of reasons. And when I say 10 plus, they're not all going to come into play at the same time. But we hope to be able to pull from 2 or 3 at any time that mean enough that you're going to actually follow through with the action. Now, step 2 is making a plan. And it's not necessarily a plan of how to do the habit. That you kind of put that together in your mental rehearsal in step one. But you're going to make a plan on how you're going to handle the obstacles that come up that would prevent you from following through with this habit. So you want to go to bed at 9:30. Well, at 9:30, does the kitchen still need cleaned? Do you still need a shower? Maybe there's somebody coming at you with, they need your help with something. You know, what are the obstacles that could come up for you at this, if you do this habit at this time, what are the obstacles? And start working through, well, you know, do you have to be the one that does that thing? Can you delegate it? Does it actually have to be done, or can you eliminate it? And then if it is a you thing and only you, then can you move it to a different time so that it's not going to be an obstacle for the habit you're trying to put in place? So it's getting clear on what's going to come up and what you can do to, you know, take that obstacle away, not let that be a thing. Now, you might need to set boundaries for you, boundaries for others. And boundaries can feel like you're maybe going to close yourself off. But I really want you to look at a boundary as you actually get to open yourself up, because you get to pick the time, you get to pick when you do that object. So it's going to be, you're going to be more present. You're going to be more just able to dedicate yourself to that task. So it's almost like it's better. So boundaries is a whole other topic, that's a whole other day, but it is something you might consider in your planning phase, that you need some boundaries. Now, step 3 is running the whole thing through a no bullshit filter. This is where you got to get real with yourself. Is this something you actually want to do? I can't tell you how much time I have wasted kicking myself for not following through with something, when if I would have sat down and looked at it, I didn't even want to do it. So why was I beating myself up, making myself feel less than for something I really didn't want to do? So it's running the whole thing through a filter to know, am I going to follow through with this? Is this really, does this fit me? What adjustments need to be made so that it does fit me? I have a client that I was working with that she reached her weight loss goal. She was happy with her weight, but she wasn't happy with her inches. And she really wasn't doing much for movement. So movement was where she needed to make an increase so that she could start to see a shift in how her body was composed. And you know, when people say movement, it's often like go to the gym. You gotta, you know, join a class, a group. And that really wasn't what she wanted to do. And that's why she wasn't following through and doing it. So when we ran it, the whole thing through the no bullshit filter for her, it really worked best for her to just go up and down the stairs in her apartment complex. It fit her budget. It fit her time. She could do it in any pocket of time she had. It kept her close enough to home that if she needed to be back at home for something, she could be there very quickly. It checked a lot of the boxes that were her constraints. And after she committed to it, after she's like, yeah, this feels like something I can do. And I don't know how many stair laps you do, but going up and down the stairs is kind of a workout. But weeks later, she was still committed. She was still following through, and she was actually doing it. She was following through and doing it. And, you know, she started with 10 minutes, and then she could increase it because it was there. It was available for her to go 2 or 3 different times a day for 10 minutes at a time. what would it look like for you if you've got steps in the office, at home? If you just took 10 minutes a day and went up and down the stairs, what would that look like in your weight and wellness journey? There's all kinds of options. That particular one might not fit for you, but running what you want to do through a no bullshit filter, are you going to do this? What needs to change to make it something that you will be able to commit to and follow through with? And are you picking something just because it works for someone else, and maybe you're going to get the same results, but if it doesn't feel right for you and you're not going to follow through, then we need to make some adjustments. Now, this looking at the story that you are following through with, that's something that you can do. I know you can do it on your own. But it is something that is sometimes hard to do it on your own. Sometimes you need an outside perspective looking in at your life to say, hey, what about this? Why are you doing that? Just to start with the questions to get you thinking about what is so ingrained. Right now, your habits are ingrained, and you don't even sometimes look at them as a possibility that you could change it, because that's just how life is. But an outside perspective can help you see that it doesn't have to be that way. You can make some slight adjustments and actually have something better for yourself. So that's what you get with a coach. That's what I do. I give you this outside perspective. And you can get that in my Total You Transformation Program. And lucky for you, the second Monday of every month, a new group opens in my Total You Transformation Group Program. It's a 12-week group setting where you get my perspective, but you also gain the perspective of listening to other people's stories. In step 1, I ask you to do a mental rehearsal. But when you are in a group setting and you are hearing other people's stories, it's like you get to get this disassociated view of your life and see your story from an outside perspective. So a group setting is great for allowing you to get many different perspectives on your own life. So if that's something that interests you, and you have questions, reach out to me, leave me a comment, send me a message, let me know what your question is. I'll be happy to answer that for you, and I'll drop a link so that you can go check it out and see if the next group is something that you want to be a part of. So I hope you got some value out of this, and I will see you next week with another Kiss from Kristin. Bye-bye.